All right. See here that we are live. Give everyone a second to join us for the live. All right. All right. I see we're up on Facebook. I believe we're up on YouTube. What's up, guys? Michael and Rob here at Lake Michigan Angler. Welcome back. Weekly fishing report, what's new in the shop, and a Big Pond Brawl update is what we have planned for today's live stream. We're going to give you guys a second to join us here. Hopefully, y'all are doing good. Hopefully, fishing has been treating you guys good. It's gotten a little, like a little, I don't know. What would you say, Rob?
It's a little tougher. It's just a little slower than we're used to at this time of the year. But what makes up for it is the size of the kings that we're catching and the fact that we are catching some decent numbers of kings. Like last year, this time, we had very few kings around. This year, we have less cohos, but much more kings. And today we were out. We had one a little over 20 pounds. We had another one about 14, 15. We just fished for a couple hours before I came in here, and we had 3 or 4 other cohos, and then we zipped back in to get me to shore so we could fish. But 40 to 50 feet was working. We had the bigger king on a Dragon Slayer on a wire diver with a bullfrog. I took a couple cohos as well. We had a couple cohos on stubbies, another one on a spoon. Another king came on a spoon on a 150 copper. So for a couple hours of fishing, it wasn't bad action at all, and the quality of the fish was really good.
Yeah, I had a good week. Thursday, I went out and went 3 for 3. Got 2 kings right in that 10-pound. One was like 10, one was like 9 and some change. Great, like what I think are great eating size kings at that point, especially for this time of year. And then 1 coho. Spoons did the trick, but I was running an SWR off the kayak, so I had 2 colors with just the 8-ounce torpedo down 10 feet. So I was fishing 20 feet of water out right, and it seemed like they were right in that between 45 and 50 feet. It was like that strip of depth. You go inside of it or a little outside of it, nothing.
Yep.
And it goes to show, like we talked about before in the podcast, just sometimes they can be just dialed into it's almost like if you think of the lake like segments
of a narrow
depths.
band.
Yeah, band. Yeah. It was so just working that area, spinning around, coming in different angles. Southeast troll that day was the most productive, and took a bite on the north pass. But really cool because especially out of a kayak, to get a king in the spring, it's less lines in the water, and so it's pretty cool to have a couple in the same day. And RV Moonshine Wonder Bread, standard size. It did the trick for me, which we know many people have that. It lives on their lines, on their, shout out to Captain Caleb, of course. He's always like, it lives on that rod. It doesn't come off. And then just more broadly, Rob, reports from just captains and boaters that you heard throughout the week.
Yeah, fish are pretty scattered. I mean, I had fishing reports in the 40s and 50s. I heard of some fish coming out of the 30s. Then I heard fish, some good reports came in 150, and guys that made it all the way out to 250. There were kings and cohos out there as well, some steelhead mixed in, and of course lake trout. So there's fish scattered all over the place. You just got to have to, find the ones that are biting for you and just stay on them. And I think you can put together a pretty good catch still.
What would you say for weekends here? We know we've got the SU tournament happening right now. Guys are going to look to get out tomorrow as well in the week. When we're in this kind of stage, I don't know if we'd say it's necessarily a transition stage. It's just that water's still cold, so these fish are just kind of spreading out everywhere.
The fish are kind of acting like they're in like a June transition.
Yeah.
They're just kind of scattered all over the place, and the main thing is that once you find them, just stay on them, find that right line or find that right school of fish you can turn back in on. Today was more of just the right line that we stayed on. Just we had a right angle, and we had that specific little band where we stayed that seemed to work for us. Whereas when we were in or out of that little area, we didn't have that action. So you find one of those 2 things that works for you, and just keep with it until it stops. And the other thing that I think is key right now, just based on my own experience in a lot of the fishing reports, is maybe run a little bit less coho stuff and more king or just kind of summer spread, more spoons in the water.
I think spoons, because spoons is more like neutrals for any fish will take it, and it gives
it's almost more of like a finesse, for our type of fishing here. So that seems to be working a little better than the more aggressive. Now we did have some fish today on stubbies, but definitely have a good mix of spoons because you don't know what you're going to catch. There's kings and there's steelhead and everything. and the cohos are biting the spoons just as well as they are the flies.
I think the spoon bite's been picking up
Mhm.
more than anything right now. So maybe lean into the spoons in your spread and then adjust as you kind of go along.
Exactly.
And then when you get out, I think, again, water's pretty cold. I mean, if you're near shore in the harbor, it's already in the upper or low to mid 50s already. You start getting out a little bit into 30 to 40, you start seeing the drop to like the low 50s and the upper 40s. So, I think personally starting in at 35 and then just making your way out and kind of filling out so you get in the fish, like Rob said, and just start working that area.
Either that or just head straight out deep, go right out to 150 and head east.
Yeah, some people have been fishing out like 250, I saw. I think Captain Dylan has been fishing out 250 and catching fish. You don't always expect to go out that far this early in the season.
Yeah.
But there's fish out there, of course. So, depending on what you want to do, kind of keep that in mind.
And they are getting a little pickier with the colors and stuff. So lately I've been switching out my spoons a little quicker than I normally do. Just even if it's caught a fish, if it goes a little while without it, I'll try another one. It seems like sometimes a spoon is good for one or two fish before you need to try something else, and then you get that rod to bite again.
Yeah, I'm gonna share a reel to our Facebook page. So I got the live scope, and it's really cool to watch them. And I've noticed throughout this week with the spoons, I'd start early in the morning with a big mag. I'd watch them come up, nose it, and then break off. So I see that happen 2-3 times. Okay, let me change out the lure. I go to standard size. I see that same behavior. They come up like they're shooting at it. I'm like, okay, we're about to get a fish. Nose it and break off. Now downsize to the little moonshines, and then they would slam that. So it kind of goes to your point of like, if something should be working, it's not, maybe switch it out, either a color change or a size change. A lot of times they're keyed in on that size. And because you could use like the mag size, whatever color, go down to a standard, and then that could be, same color, you just change the profile.
Yeah. Then don't be afraid to use some gold spoons. Gold spoons have been really good this week.
Yeah. So a little bit on the fishing there. Let us know how it's been for you guys. A couple of comments here. What did Super say here? Rob looking at you with the side eye like you're telling lies. He always gives me the side eye. It doesn't matter what it is. All right. Let's see here. Frank, keep up the great work, guys. Thank you, Frank. We appreciate it. Of course, you guys have any questions about anything we're going to talk about today, fishing report, information on that, feel free to ask in the chat. We will pull it up and answer it to the best of our ability. Let's talk about what we got new in the shop, starting with the most popular in-demand item probably in the area. We've got them. We've got the stubbies back in.
50-50 special.
That's the 50-50, aka the Blake special, as I call it. These are my new favorites. These live on my rods. You get two of the best colors right on one thing, and it really doesn't matter what fly. Because for me, 7-Up lives on a fire dot. And then Blue Liz lives on the fire red. But now, because you got that one stubby, that's a 7-Up right there. And we do have them all in now, guys. Now, because you get two of the colors, you can throw on whatever fly, man. Mardi Gras with this, that, and other. It's such a no-brainer.
We'll probably be out of these before Tuesday.
Yeah.
So basically, sold half of them already.
Yeah. Well, we always say, guys, just order it online. Even if you're local and you want to come get it, order it online so you can we pull it out of the inventory, and then you can just come pick it up at the shop. Just annotate on your order in the notes. Hey, I want to pick it up at the shop and put it off to the side for you. That's probably one of the best way to do it because they will go out of here very fast. But of course, we've got standard fire orange. We've got fire dot full. We've got the custom Coho killer back in. That's a limited edition one. And then some other good ones, especially going into the summertime, are going to be the UV Pearl for the fire orange and the chartreuse. We know Captain Blake and some other captains have been using these guys in the summertime. So, we did a video about it last year. Don't think that you can't use these stubbies throughout the season. Before we used to think, even ourselves, it's a spring thing, and once it's done, you just go all flash your flies. But
all the different species of trout and salmon bite them.
Yeah.
And actually, we didn't bring one up here. We got back in stock the smoke, the trash can.
Yeah, trash can.
Or it's Silver Frost. It's got all those names, but we were out of that one for quite a while. We couldn't get it. So that's another good one. Yeah. All through the.
That was our episode with Captain Al Johnson, right?
Yes.
He was a big fan of all the trash cans. Mm-hmm. He likes the big size O, which is the 8-inch
Yep.
but I think he also mentioned using the
Yeah.
stubbies as well. So
Mhm.
they all work, and they do have a life beyond the spring. So don't be afraid, and we do have them. Rob's gonna laugh at me at this one, but I'm pulling these out here to show you guys. I'm a huge fan. I really, really love plugs. And boy, oh boy, do we get a shipment of these in. If you don't know, they are hard to come by. They really are. Rob, how often do you come across
I
these?
ordered these months ago, like 6 months ago, and we finally got them. They'll be gone pretty quick, I'm sure.
They will. I know I'm already leaving out of here today with a handful.
Yeah, he's buying them all.
God,
so that's
this
why
is the worst idea. You know, Rob must have known. I was like, all right. So we got the silver hordes. We got two different sizes. We've got the these are the size 5s and the 4s, and then let's see. We've got some very popular colors. So this is Lucky Charms with the rattle, very, very popular color. We've got the chrome Lucky Charms. Then we've got the size 4. This is Rattle Glow Green Dots. We've also got the size 4 size of the chrome Lucky Charm. We also have, is this the one?
The UV.
Yeah, you have the UV Green Glow Lightning. And then we've got the Wonder Bread, Mother of Pearl in the size 4. And there's other ones back there. These are just ones that I grabbed right off the peg to show you guys. So, you know, again, these really start to shine, I think, August, September, when the kings are staging and running. But they do catch other species of fish. You can run them in the summertime. You know,
Yeah, I've got some big brown trout on plugs.
Yeah. So they're great to just have in your inventory, and they are hard to come by. We do have these. They're not up on the website just yet, which means if you're in the area, you kind of get a first crack at them if you stop by the store this weekend to grab some of these popular colors before we're able to inventory them in and get them on the website. But They will be on the website.
Possibly by the end of today.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get them up there. Let's see. Russell said, kick off the weekend. Good show. Thank you, Russ. Appreciate your support, man. All right, let's see. We got another comment here from D. With the coho biting high in the water column, are you marking the fish on standard sonar prior to getting bites?
You know what? The fish we caught today, we didn't mark. A lot of times the aggressive fish, they might not be in your spread, but if they're in that biting mood, they're going to see and hear you from a ways away, and they're going to come right into your spread and bite your bait, and it's going to be right after you went past it and you never got to mark it.
Yeah. One thing I can say, since I've had this live scope now is, you know, many of us have been out there in the water and we're looking on our 2D sonar and it's just blue. There's nothing in there. Like, Jesus Christ, it's like the abyss. I've witnessed and experienced that situation where on the 2D sonar it's barren, but on my live scope, as I'm looking back at my spread, I will see these fish. Like Rob said, they will just come out of seemingly nowhere and strike. So, you know, again, your lures are pulling in fish. They are attracting them in. They will come in. You don't necessarily always see them, but so keep that in mind for what it's worth. Thank you for the question. Any other questions or comments, feel free to drop them below. Let's talk about the Big Pond Brawl. We're excited about that. There was a couple of questions we've been asked over the last week. We're trying to do weekly updates on the brawl itself. And so let's jump into some updates for you guys, starting with the news of an additional sponsor.
Yeah, Aqua Traction. They make flooring for boats. So if you want that really cool, like
nice foaming, you know,
awesome stuff for boats, they make that. And yeah, they're a pretty good sponsor for us. So we welcome them.
Yeah. So thank you to Aqua Traction. We're going to get them. They've given us the verbal commitment. We're going to get all the back end stuff situated up with that. And we'll let you guys know going forward kind of what the kind of an idea what they're going to commit, but we're going to wait till that's in. But they've already given us the verbal, hey, we're on board. We're going to do this. So big thank you to Aqua Traction for jumping on board. And it's going to be cool because, I mean, a lot of boats want that, you know, nice EVA foam.
Yeah, it is pretty nice. When you go on a boat with that stuff, it's
and then you can
and soft. It cleans easily. It's really cool stuff.
Yeah. So excited to add another sponsor. And also, I know I've had some questions about this. If there are any brands, and it could be also an individual or a company, or if you're a small business yourself and you want to support, feel free to reach out to Rob. You know, we can get you over the sponsor package. You guys take a look and see what works for you guys and be a part of this. Definitely the more local and small businesses that come together, I think it's a big community thing. It's really cool. So feel free, if you want to reach out and get in contact with us about this opportunity. Also, let's talk about some questions we've been asked about. What about small boats? What about weather considerations? So I promised that we'd come back today. We had a talk with the tournament committee on like how we're going to operate all of that. So first, it goes without saying that our whole point of us doing this is to bring the small boat community together and providing a tournament that they can participate in, that they have a fair shot in, and that was like the whole undertaking on this thing, especially to welcome new people to the salmon tournaments, right? We see many people come in from like the walleye, the inland, the bass fishing world, and they venture out in their boats and they start getting salmon fishing and they love it. And now they like fully convert and they're looking to get into more like in maybe the competitive side of it. So that's a lot of the backstory on why we created this whole thing. So I say that to say we're very mindful of like small boats going out there, safety, of course. So one of the questions we asked is how are we going to make the call for tournament day if the weather is like in this weird state where like maybe for a small boat it's like but like if you're a big boat, it's not a big deal. You're just going to go crush it. So the smaller boat guys might feel like, well, I'm not going to do it, even though it's like fishable. So we discussed this, and you want to run them down what we're going to do for this?
Yeah. So basically, we're fishing unless there's a small craft advisory. That automatically cancels the tournament, and we're going to have some rain dates. So if we can't get out on Saturday, we're going to have it on Sunday. And if we can't get out on Sunday, then we're going to have another rain date. I think August 3rd is what we said.
Yeah, we'll move it to August. We'll give it one more shot in August is what we discussed. And then at that point, if it's like it can't happen again, this kind of ties into the second question we asked is like, hey, if we can't do it because of this, that, and the other, is there a refund thing? At that point, if we can't do it after that date, then we issue refunds to everyone. So hopefully that gives you guys confidence that you're not going to lose out on this. Our whole idea is not if anybody lose out on anything. We want everyone to participate, have a great time, have a shot at winning some cash and prizes, bring the community together, do something a little bit different. And so, again, we'll aim for the June 10th. If not, June 11th, the Sunday right after, we'll pick up that day, hopefully. If that doesn't work, August 3rd. And if that doesn't work, everyone gets their money back. And we'll just try again next year, So hopefully that answers those questions. And at any point, if anyone has any questions, you can always leave it on any of the comments. You can message us that because we are taking these questions and trying to answer them so that you guys have a better understanding of what's going on. We're getting closer and closer every day to tournament day. As we get closer to that, we'll end up having our captain's meeting. We'll also, when we have all our captain's meeting, we're also going to break down like the flow for the weigh-in because that's going to be another big question. But we'll do that directly with those that are entered into the tournament themselves. We will have the captain's meeting on the 8th, which is a Thursday, and it will be done in store / live. So we'll do it in the back room where we do our seminars. So those of you that want to come in live, that'll be the last chance to pay in. If you want to come in that day, last day is on the captain's meeting for you to buy in to the tournament. You just come right in, hang out. We'll do the captain's meeting. We'll also stream it for those of you that can't make it. So we want to make sure everyone have it as accessible as possible. So that'll be June 8th, last day to sign up. So far, though, people also ask kind of like, what are we looking at for numbers on entries right now? We have that information?
I don't remember what it is, actually. It's not a lot yet. I mean, we got more than a handful of people signed up, like 8 or 10 or something.
Like 8 or 10?
Yeah, which is actually pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Most people sign up the last couple days.
Yeah, so don't get hopefully no one gets discouraged by that. A lot of times what it is, especially with small boats, they're kind of going to get to like that week out period so they can see what the weather is. And that's typical. As Rob has more experience on this, it's pretty typical. You'll start to see them as we get closer and closer, then everyone will start jumping in.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the smaller boat guys as well are probably like, let me get a week out to see what the weather conditions are going to look like. And then they'll commit. But so yeah, we're close to 10. That's what I thought I saw last time I looked. So we're getting there. Let's see another question here. Or D said, "Good to know. Took our first trip the other week and didn't see the mark, but did get some bites. Thanks for your insight you guys provide." Absolutely, man. Thank you. Let's see. Super about to head that way. Want breakfast?
I'm fine, thanks. I don't need any breakfast.
Speak for himself. All right. And then on Facebook, Casey, thanks for putting together this, guys. Really excited. Awesome, Casey. I'm taking it that you are jumping into the Big Pond Brawl. Hopefully so. I don't want to speak too soon, but I'm kind of excited. We've already explored, like, this is our first one, like a proof of concept for us. Next year is really the year that we look to, like, implement it in its full version. 3, at least, possibly 4 total for the year. And one thing that I pitched to Rob, and I was like, yeah, this is a good idea. I think it'd be really, really cool is that we'll run them kind of like how we are now, where you can just jump into one-off and do whatever works for you, because we understand work, kids, wife, family, work, all that stuff, right? So you can just do one date. You could jump in for that one date. But what we're also going to offer is like a series lane for those that want to also do the series for like the bigger, prize pot. And what's going to be cool with that is that we're going to have the series cup. And so many of you like familiar with hockey, you got the Stanley Cup, and you get the trophy and the nameplates on there for whoever won it per year. We're going to create our own series cup in the same fashion, and it will host it here at the store so all can see it. So like we're really planning this out going into next year. And so when people come in shopping, they can see the trophy, and they can see all the boats that won it each year for the series. And hopefully start a tradition. I think that'll be really, really cool. So we're excited about it. And the more that you guys support, it's like a help us help you kind of a thing. You get involved. It allows us to show this to sponsors and gets them excited to dump more into next year and all of that. So keep that in mind. We are very appreciative of everyone that's supporting and excited about this as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them right now before we wrap up the live, whether it's about fishing, whether it's about products here at the store, or if you have any questions about the Big Pond Brawl, feel free to go ahead and ask that. We'll give you guys a second here to do that. You caught a couple of kings this morning. What spoon did you catch them on?
One was on a old school Smurf Silver Streak. Sorry, I don't have that one, guys.
Well, they fish with a lot of like old school like lures. Like they see a lot of old school lures.
That was on a 150 copper. The other king was on the Dragon Slayer, and it was a Super Frog Holly Fly on a wire diver. That took a couple fish, and we had a couple stubbies that caught fish, and that was it for a short trip. So pretty good. I mean, yeah, it was a little tougher, but really like 6 fish in a couple hours isn't too bad. So I can't really complain about that. And when one's over 20 pounds and another one's 15 or so, 14, 15, it's pretty good. Yeah.
You know what? You mentioned it earlier. It'll be quite honest. It's vastly different compared to last year. What's happening right now? Last year, we saw the big coho. The kings were kind of absent. Now this year, it's kind of like back to the year prior, where it's maybe more typical of like we had our cookie cutter coho come by.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to see the kings around in some decent size, like from 10 to the 20 range.
Yep.
So what are these, like 2 or 3 year olds potentially? Or
the kings?
Yeah. And
these are going to be the mature fish in the fall.
So these are going to be the 4 year olds?
Yeah.
Even the 10 pounders right now?
Depends. Like some of I've seen eggs in, but the 10 pounders could go either way.
Got you. Yeah, I saw recently on Fish Hawk podcast they had the Michigan DNR guy, Jay, what's his name?
Oh, Wesley.
Jay Wesley, yeah. He said that for Chinook that it's like 20 pounds. They have to eat 20 pounds of alewife for 1 pound of weight. That's a lot of fish. They got to be packing down. So that was pretty cool to kind of learn some of the biology behind that. Oh, we should talk about the DNR thing that we've made posts about.
I don't even remember what we made a post about.
Jesus Christ, Rob. About the commercial fishing.
Oh, yeah. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
This is actually a really big deal that I shouldn't have forgotten about.
Thank you, Rob.
But, all right. So right now there's a proposal to allow commercial fishing for lake trout in Lake Michigan in the state of Wisconsin. What makes this a big deal are the different things that are part of this bill. Not just the fact that they'd be commercial fishing lake trout. What makes it bad is that they would be able to take half of the quota available. So for sport fishermen allowed 50,000 roughly, they would be able to get 25,000 of that. And as it is right now, sport fishermen already we already catch each year 30,000. You know, regardless of what the limit on lake trout is, we always take about 30,000 out of the state of Wisconsin. If they get their half of that, that makes the daily sportsman limit down to 1 fish per person. And on top of that,
1 lake trout.
Yeah, 1 lake trout per person. Sorry. And then on top of that, once 75% of the quota is filled, the sport fishing lake trout season is over for the year. So now what you're going to have are all these people catching lake trout on accident and just throwing back dead fish.
Yeah, once you pull them from the depths, they're not surviving. Let's be honest here.
And the other bad thing, this might be the worst part of it, is that when they need to stock more lake trout, which they're going to, because they're going to say we harvested so many, we need to put so many more back in. Those numbers of lake trout are going to come at the expense of our trout and salmon, our other trout and salmon. So that means less Chinooks, less Cohos, less Steelhead, less brown trout. And that's what we really don't want.
Yeah, that's a net negative, 100%. We made a couple posts on our Facebook page. We highly, highly encourage you guys to go by, read go to the link that we put there from the DNR, read it, send an email. And I saw a post from Mark Sandel. He shared it in another group. Just don't send the email saying, I'm not for this. No. If they judge the feedback based on the quality of the message sent. So take a moment to write a paragraph or two, how this can impact your experience on the water, whether you are a charter in the charter business, whether you are a weekend angler. We're all affected. Shore guys, everyone can be affected by this. So take a moment to send a quality message about how this can be detrimental to your experience on the water. Again, whether you do it for a living or if you just as a recreation, it still impacts you. Mm-hmm. So we definitely want to make sure you guys are aware of this. From what I understand, it's like six companies against this whole $1 billion recreational sport fishing
literally
industry.
Just 6 commercial fishing companies, 6 boats.
And I happened to stumble on their Facebook page.
They banned me.
Yeah. Anyway, so 6 commercial fishing businesses are pushing for this, and somehow they have some from some state senator from Green Bay.
Yeah, somewhere up there.
Somewhere up north that's sponsoring this. So somehow they've got in cahoots to make that happen. We all understand how politics can be, but we need to make our voices heard in this. When you look at just how big the recreational sport fishing industry is, the millions and billions of dollars it brings to the area, small businesses like our shop, hotels, the gas stations, all the mom and pop diners. Mm-hmm. If there's no fish around here, people are not going to come around our area as much.
Exactly.
So think about how that can impact so many people in so many different ways. Just so people can, 6 boats can go out there and catch lake trout. And so we'll leave it at that. Please check it out and say something about that. I think that's all we have for today. There's no more questions or anything. I don't see anything. Nope.
Oh, we forgot a couple items.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We've got tape cuts for dodgers. We've got tape cuts for divers, tape cuts for spoons. So if you need any specialty tape cuts, we've got that stuff. And there's more on the way. There's some other ones, some eyes and all sorts of stuff we didn't grab. There'll be more diver cuts, a few different things. I also got in a nice shipment of 10 Fathom reels. If you need these, this is one of my absolute favorite reels, especially out of all the high-end reels. This one is my favorite. So the 30 line counter right here is the best wire diver reel on the market, I believe. We've got the 50s. So yeah, if you're looking for some Penn reels, let us know. We've got that for you.
Yep. That's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed today's report, updates, Big Pond Brawl update, and some of the other information we share with you guys. We're here at the shop till 4 today. We're open tomorrow 9 to 2. So feel free to stop by. Wish you all some good fishing. Be safe out there, and we'll see you guys next time. Later.